things,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
can. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, we're live now.
Okay, that's how you roll. Okay.
I'm trying to. Yeah, we're live now. I see. I just heard. Okay, I'm trying to test to see if people can hear my volume, but they can.
Oh, good.
I just heard. Okay, I'm trying to test to see if people can. Okay, yeah, cool. So it's like a second behind. Hi, whoever joined my chat. I'm here with my friend Ruhi Zandra. And Ruhi, okay, first of all, we're not going to, we're going to talk first. So today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk first and then I'll answer questions from the viewers. And I'm not going to be, I'll welcome people that come in, but I'm not going to like read everything that they say right away. And the person just went out. Because usually when I get on live, people come in and I recognize them right away. I say, hi, so and so, so. But since I'm doing an interview, I gotta, be cognizant of Ruhi's time because she's gotta go. So we'll go ahead and get
You know
started
me.
and
I'll
then
stay as long as you want me to. I'll be like, yeah, cancel everything. Cancel. Oh no.
so we'll just go ahead and get started. And my guest today is Ruhi Zandra. So, Ruhi, let's talk about what you do. So, what exactly do you do? I know you do something with art, but I don't really know what your title is. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's great to be here as always. I've had the opportunity to be on your channel a couple of times, and every time we're like, oh, that was fun. We should do it again. And then a year goes by, we're like, what? So I'm really grateful for this opportunity to show up. My background is actually in filmmaking, and I've spent time in the high tech, I've spent time in education, inside grassroots community spaces, and throughout all of it, the thing that just keeps coming back over and over again is art is how we find our way back to ourselves, among many other purposes in life. It is one of the ways that in community with people or on your own that you can have some time to think through things. And so what I do right now and have been doing it for the last, I would say I started soft around October of 2025, and I just invited a few people on social media to come into a space, and it's called Therapeutic Arts. And so this is a little different than what people might have heard of, which is art therapy or music therapy or other motor sensory type therapies where you are involved in a clinical environment and you are working through some issues that you really need to have medical attention for, or maybe something has happened in your life and nothing else has worked for you, but those modalities really bring out your thought process and allow you to express your ideas. And so it's a highly, highly recommended space. And just around that, on the outer edges of that, the therapeutic arts is for folks who are not looking at something clinical, but looking at things like loss or alignment gaps, in their careers, or something happened where they just feel a little untethered or disconnected, or somehow can't seem to find a way to express themselves that they're looking for. And there's some emotions around that. There could be anything from a low confidence, it's just sticking around for a long time, or maybe you just want some quiet, right? There's a lot going on, not just in the world, but in people's lives. And no one is untouched by this, right? But we all process in different ways, and we all feel things in different ways. And so therapeutic arts is there to offer a space to sort of let that individual go through a guided experience so that they can see and understand and feel what's coming up for them in that moment, right? And so it's really just a beautiful way to connect, and it's also a beautiful way to allow someone to reflect. And really, that's how adults learn. If I've touched on anything in my time in education, is adults learn by reflection. We have to experience something, And then we go, oh, okay. We learn mostly through observation. So if anybody's willing to teach someone something, standing there and watching makes a difference, right? It's tactile. You feel it. You can engage with that person. But I've been utilizing the online space for people who are in different parts of the world and inviting folks in. And we spend an hour together using whatever basic art materials they might have at home or just anything around. It could be scratch paper. It could be something that they, oh, I have my favorite set of pencils, or my kids got crayons, or, whatever's there. And it just allows them to think a little differently. I also work with artists directly, people who are in the process of a large project, or they're trying to get through an art installation, or they themselves are dealing with something that's come up from their childhood. And as artists, they're trying to put that forward in the world in order to help other people. And so that's called, in my world, I call that creative mentorship. And I'm sure people do it all the time, but it's really just another space where people can talk through things. For example, I have an appointment with a filmmaker, a writer who is coming up next week. And her thing that she would like to do is a documentary. And she is looking at issues of immigration and her background and coming from different countries, and the different things that came up in her family line that really made her feel like, wow, this is an amazing story to my family, but it's also really touching her heart and her work right now, which kind of surprised her. She's already well into her 30s, and she's going, okay, where's this coming from? But I need to talk about it with somebody who can help me document that through art. I've also worked with people who are just ready to take their mind off of whatever's going on in the world around them and just give back to themselves, fill their cup a little bit, give themselves a space where they can be like, whew, okay, I can do something for myself that I enjoy, and I can talk about it in a way that they're not necessarily bringing up anything that has an emotional connection, but they like talking about something new, like it's just sort of broadening their horizons a bit, and it gives them something to look at during the week, something they made. And in this line of service, it's essentially not trying to create something that is complete. You're not going, okay, I have an hour and I gotta crank through and make it perfect. No. We're sort of saying, okay, we're gonna spend this time. I've been booked up to 3 hours before because people want to have a studio session. So they actually want to get to a place where when they step out of that session, they have something to work on during the week, right? So I've had that opportunity as well, which is just super. On my side, it's a miracle to watch someone else work and be able to hear their thought process and where they're coming from on how this thing is evolving. So whether they're working with clay, or they're working with paint, or they're just sketching something, in the room, it's really a special experience. It will not exist ever again, right? It's like accompanying someone on that journey of creation. So I've seen it in different ways. I also work with youth. I work with children. I've spent many years in spaces with youth where art has become a way to make friends. It's something that they can share. I worked in museum spaces before where we would go to high schools or middle schools in the after school space, and then we would set up different art stations, and they would be welcome to create, and they would have a theme, and an art moment would take place, and then they would go to the materials that they gravitated towards, and they really, after school, it's a quick minute for kids, right? But it can also be like the thing that livens up the rest of their day or gets them excited about what's coming up, the next day. And so I really love those opportunities too, when I can be in person. It's just really incredible. So the thing I want to make a distinction about is, again, the difference between therapeutic arts and art therapy and how people use art in their daily lives, right? Art can happen at any time, right? And I spoke to an artist many years ago, and I said, when do you think a human being begins to create, right? Where does that come from? He said, it's hard to tell, right? Human beings are very different, and we do things differently. But he said over and over again in his life, no matter where he was in the world, every time he saw a baby point at something, like, oh, look at that. Oh, look there. He said to him, that's the moment that a human being becomes an artist, because they're drawing your attention to something that's valuable and important to them, that gives them a sense of wonder, that makes them think, oh, I should tell somebody about this. I want to show you the thing, that bright color there, or, oh, look at that person there, or let me show you this thing over here. And I thought that just moved me, because I thought that's so true, right? We've all seen babies start to point, and we're like, where the heck they I know you see something, but where is it? Right. But their sense of noticing, the art of noticing and the art of seeing it comes from a very young age, and it's universal. It's absolutely universal. And there's something motor sensory happening. We all know they're exercising their brain and their hands. Everything's connected. But at the same time, they're receiving information about their environment that causes them to want to share, right? It causes them to want to recognize. And that is such a powerful experience for any surrounding adult to be like, oh my gosh, this child is, interested in something. And no matter their motor capabilities, what sensory talents they might have that they were born with, or maybe if they're dealing with accessibility issues or anything that's happening, everybody has it. So it's not even the physical body, right? So the pointing can happen with a gesture, right? It doesn't have to be a finger. It could be the eyes. It could be a shoulder, right? Let me show you this. Let me come with me, right? This body movement that causes this engagement. So I'm in awe of all of it. And I was able to go through a certification program, and this is something I did later in life. So hats off to anyone going into new spaces with your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, wherever you are. And if in your 20s, guess what? It's okay to change. It's totally okay to just do something different, find your pathway. Janine and I talk about this all the time. It's like, oh my God, I'm interested in something else. And everyone around you is like, what? Why don't you stick to one thing or two things? Yeah. Come on now. And you're like, no, that's a whole nother show. Like talking about how, when you have multiple interests, what happens in your career path. But so I want to encourage anybody who's interested, or you find yourself in spaces where art is existing, please explore these things. There's a multitude of free resources online. You can go down that rabbit hole on YouTube if you want, but anybody who sees themselves as somebody who's open to this idea of accompanying someone in a conversation around what they're working on, it could really be something that enlightens your path, right? It's kind of exciting. And so for me, I call myself, to answer your question in a long-winded way, Jenny. So right now, my understanding is I'm a therapeutic arts facilitator, and I have 20 years experience facilitating. So that's probably why I gravitate more towards that title. Some people call themselves an art therapy practitioner, and that is really beautiful, and it works with them because maybe they have a holistic practice. So they're doing things like somatic work or breath work, or they are going down the path of becoming a healer or a medical person who's on staff at a clinic, or they maybe they're already a nurse, or they're already a doctor of some sort, right? And so they're adding arts in as something that they use with their patients. You can run the gamut of possibilities. And so I think for me in my life, just seeing art in person at the grassroots and seeing Indigenous populations creating art and watching, firsthand, and oh my gosh, how it brings community together. What happens when people express ideas through co-creating? What happens when an individual is like, I have an idea, let's roll. I mean, that's Janine. Right. If you want to talk to anybody, I got an idea. Let's roll, people. And everyone's like, yeah, come on, let's do it. I can't tell you, there's so many stories I have on Janine when we first met, like, she's like, all right, we're meeting at this location. We're going to get this camera out. We're at home. Like, okay, let's go, get these people together. So I think sometimes we can all find examples. If you've been blessed with children in your life, you can see, no matter if it's in your neighborhood or in your household or at your school or wherever you are, you can see them creating, and you can feel that same energy when they get an idea. If you're working with caregiving, right, you can see in the elderly community how someone lights up when they're asked to make something or work together with their hands, or all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, I can do something. My mother-in-law had a stroke many years ago, and she had never painted in her life, and took a little painting class, and that woman was painting. So no matter what you're dealing with physically, you can come to it at any time. You can come to it in any space. And, you might change your mind later. She got interested in different things. It doesn't mean you do it forever. I mean, just in that time, it's feeding your desire to create, whether you're in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, you just made a new recipe. That's art. That's art. That's another talk. Right. We'll do that one. Right. What is art?
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, Janine, what is it about creating art that you think is like healing to you?
She asking me questions. I'm going to be interviewing you.
Flipped
it. But for me, at this point in my life, since I lost my father, it helps me deal with my grief. Mm-hmm. So when I'm creating, because I'm doing a documentary, as you well know, Ruhi, a documentary about people in my family that served in the military, my father being one of them. So I think that kind of helps me understand my father better, and by hearing stories from different family members about him, and just thinking about, okay, what my dad must have been going through while he was serving in Vietnam. And so art is, for me right now, this point is helping me. You never get over a death of a parent. You don't. You think you do, because you also people hear, oh, you need to get over that. You don't get over a death of a parent. You learn how to cope with it, but there's really no getting over it. Because I had a cousin lost her father about over 15 years, who was crying about her dad to me a couple of weeks ago. So it's not something that you get over. It's something that you have learned how to cope with. And so art for me is a coping mechanism. If I'm feeling anxious, I may get out a coloring book and color, or to just help. It's a way for me to deal with my feelings of grief. That's it.
That's powerful. Mm-hmm. That's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. You ask me questions. If you want to ask me questions, let's go on your channel. You can ask me.
My gosh, my channel is blank. Yeah, I really need to put something together. Oh,
what I'm saying, we can do that on your channel. This is Janine's world, and we interviewing you, Ruhi. Don't try to flip the script on me. We're not doing this.
Oh, hey, listen. But you know what? That was very succinct and clear and thoughtful, and it's like that. When your dad passed, it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute, but it feels like today.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I hear what you're saying, so I thank you for that. I think that we often look at time and we go, hey, that's going to help. And we have all those, colloquial expressions. Time heals all wounds. I don't know about that. Right. I don't know about that. So I'm agreeing with you. Mm-hmm. And thank you. Thank you for, it's not easy to talk about grief. So, and I did ask you a question, and I might ask another one. So,
oh, no. Look, I am the interviewer.
Okay,
You're
okay.
not the interviewee.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight right now.
Spotlight.
Okay. Okay.
All right, all right. I'm back. I'm back. Here, I got my glue stick, my microphone glue stick.
No.
I'm back. I'm back.
I have another question for you. We
Okay.
kind of briefly touched on this the other day. Okay, so you create films, and
Mhm.
my question to you is, does your environment influence the film that you're going to make?
Wow, that's fascinating. Nature versus nurture. Let's see. It's a classic conversation. One of the things I did study was biological anthropology, and in that area and in that arena, they talk about that a lot, right? So, what comes through in an evolutionary process when somebody's in a certain environment, right? And
Mhm.
what comes through that's nurtured in you, right? That allows you to express these things. And if you took, you know, a group of people and put them in a different environment, would they act differently? My reading of those case studies and also in history is that yeah, it definitely influences how you think and what you do and where you're at with it. And say, for example, I think when we were looking at it before, it's like, okay, I'm going to write a script, right?
Mhm.
And then and I need to do this in a space of quiet. Like I live in a certain part. Okay, so maybe I live in, you know, a countryside environment, but I want to go to the city because my script is about the city, right? I want to
Mhm.
be in the city and feel the city. And when you study the life of artists and writers, you can hear that story over and over again. They leave their hometown and they go to a place where they want to be inspired by. I mean, you look at Henry David Thoreau, for example, he removed himself from society and put himself in nature so that he could feel that, not with the purpose of writing. It just so happened that he started writing, right? So he was always
Mhm.
writing, and then he started writing about what was around him, his thoughts and reflections around him. You look at the life and times of Toni Morrison or any other author, right? They were writing to say something about the most significant and important things that were happening at the time. But even so, they were writing to center thoughts and ideas that allowed people to see the world in a new way, right?
Mhm.
And so to me, that's beautiful, right? So they weren't necessarily removing themselves from an environment or going to another country, what have you, but they did a lot of global thinking on the
Mhm.
thing, right? They did a lot of research, they did a lot of background, they did a lot, or it came from such an internal place, such an inward reflection that when people read it on the page, they were like, oh my Lord, right? I see something. I feel this. I relate to it. You know, eat up every word because it's so truthful. It's just really touching. So I think, yeah, I think what you're around will influence you, and where you are can change. I had mentioned my mom, who's a writer as well. She went to do her research in the place that she was writing about, but the writing took place in a completely different country, right? So she set herself in that environment to do all of months and months and months of research to be in that place, to talk to people, to read the documents, to gather that, because the libraries are there, right? Those letters and things don't exist in other parts of the world. So you got to go where the materials are housed, right? But you can write it from any place, any
Mhm.
location on the planet. So, but the thing about writing, and you've mentioned this, and a lot of people I've talked to who are writing, beginners and completely advanced, you have to get in the chair, right? You have to
Right.
be standing at the table, wherever you are, however comfortable you feel in the way you write. You have to have those blocks of time, and they need to be, if possible, a bit uninterrupted, right? A way to, 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours a day of just quietude, do what you need to do to get to that place where you're actually putting words on the page, whether you're writing it out by hand, whether you're typing it, the words need to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a real important part of environment and creating. I know in therapeutic arts, we do a little bit of writing as well. Some people like to journal. I do work with some people who are writers, and they use that to get their thoughts out and onto the page, or they create something and they use that as a tool to help them remember what the conversations were about. I had someone who did a little bit of a watercolor exercise, and they used that watercolor. They would look at it and go, oh yeah, that's when we talked about this. It was like the way that they had painted had made them help remember what the conversation was about. And I was like, oh, hello, that was not planned. That was just that person's creativity coming out on the page. So I think if you're able to be in a different space, I think it helps. It does help. But if what you're doing and how you're doing it, at home feels most comfortable. I have a writer friend who cannot write unless she's sitting in a coffee shop. She cannot. She needs that extra little layer of sound, the hum of the machines and the people talking and stuff coming and going. It just kind of like lulls her into a writing mode. And other people they wouldn't be able to think straight. Like, oh, that's too much, right? There's a lot of sensory input in here. There's light coming in, somebody getting their mochaccino, whatever, happening. It's like too much. So it's possible to do writing anywhere you are. My suggestion is to do an exercise at least once a day, if possible, just like exercising your body. Give yourself, 15 minutes, set a timer if you have to, and just get some words out, and that'll help set the tone and give somebody the burst of creativity that gives them that chance. Okay, I have stuff coming out and I need to make that block of time. It lets them know it's okay. I'm ready to sit down. So I feel if you can be in the environment that supports you, if not, use your creativity, and allow that environment to be made around you so that everything is at your fingertips. Don't be that one. If I was going to do it, I say, oh, I can't get to, I got to be in New York when I write my novel. Oh shoot. And that's my excuse for 5 years because I can't get to New York, for whatever reason. I have my job, my obligations, and so on. Start writing now and set a goal. Okay, I'm going to be 3 months in New York. 5 years from now, I'm going to have a summer, right? Get that plan together, get that feeling together, get your draft together, plan it out, kind of a thing. That would be. Hey, let's do that.
Girl, don't start, because you know me, I'll jump on it. I know. Do not start with me. If you say something, I'll be like, okay, let's go. You know how I am. I'm always like, let's go.
That's why I have to stop myself, because this picture's getting a little too clear and there's dates being set. Wait a minute.
You better stop, because I'll be like, when are we going to do that? I will, Ruhi, I'm always ready to go.
This is how this live was born. We started chatting on the phone and you're like, oh, it's on. I'm sending you a link right now. Oh, you were like, no, we're not talking about that right now because we're on the live stream.
Yeah. You know how I am. Did I tell you were going to be my friend, Ruhi? Was that
you did? Decades ago, we were doing some film group work together out in Austin, Texas, with a group called Real Women, and we were setting up this Real Women film crew. And it was the first time I met Janine, and she was like, hello, my name's Janine, and we're going to be friends for life. It was that kind of energy. And I was like, this is awesome. I was so excited. I was like, this is great. She was like, creative partner, here we go. And she's just
forced people to be my friend.
She made a decision. No, I loved it. I thought, she's
to make people be my friend. I wear them down. I wear people down. They're they're just give in. She's not going away. So I guess I'm gonna be her friend.
Hey, listen, friends for life. It should be on a t-shirt. It should be on a t-shirt because that is powerful. I
Oh
think,
my
yeah,
God.
absolutely. What's the point? Where,
Oh wow.
Janine's not out here to make acquaintances. No, she's looking for lifelong friends, people that I love it. That's how we should do it.
It's
We should always
crazy.
have that in mind. Do
Oh, that's
not
so
be
funny.
content with friendship and words alone. Let your heart burn with loving kindness for all who cross your path. Janine's like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Do that. I do that all the time when I talk later on with some friends. Like, yeah, you walked in and then you saw me and you sat next to me and you introduced yourself and you said, we're gonna be friends.
Hey, it's an honor.
Yeah, I did that
to
to some people in my old neighborhood in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
It was an older Asian couple, and I kept waving at them every day. First they were like, "Who is this girl?" Hey. Then every day, hey, and then finally they waved back, and then we started nodding at each other. And then when I was out of town, they had came by to look for me because I was visiting with my parents, and Tyra said, "Yeah, these people came by to see you, and you were gone. I had to tell me you were out of town." And I said, "Oh, that Asian couple." So then when I came back, they're like, "Where you been? Where you been?" I said, "I had to go visit my parents." "Oh, okay. We look for you. We look for you." I said, "Oh." I said, now they probably really looking for me because I moved to a whole new city. Yeah, they probably really came by the house and new people moved in and all of that.
That's all right. That
I
happens.
I never knew their names, but it was more like, and then if I didn't see them, I would worry about them because they were older.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, where are they? Are they okay? And I would walk up, look, I'm walking up and down the street looking for them. It's like, oh, I hope they're okay because they're an older couple. So then, so the last time I saw them, I didn't get a chance to tell them I was moving because it happened so fast. But I saw them, and but that's how I can't help myself.
I think it's normal though. I think folks know that folks got to move, and they'll figure it out. Like oh shoot, they had to go. It happens all the time, but it's so beautiful when people look out for each other like that. When they're looking for one another, it's like, oh, your routine is I see you out on the walking trail, and how are you, and that type of thing. I think that's really special. Keep doing it, Janine. Walk up to people, be like, we're gonna be friends.
My husband thinks I'm so just totally weird.
You just have a feeling about something. That's what happens when you're doing art, right? You have a feeling and a tendency towards greeting someone, or a tendency towards being around folks, even introverts, right, who do art, who are interested in art. They'll have that tendency toward including someone else because they see like, okay, they need some time together. I have a friend who's an artist, and he works with stone, and he's a sculptor of stone. He's very solitary. He's very solitary because you're collecting the stone. You're getting special permits to be in places because you're looking at the landscape. He works in landscapes. He works in his studio, and it's just like you see a lot of a solitary space. But he often says it's a whole group of people that make it possible for him to be able to do that, and then have his work shown in a museum, or shown in a gallery, or shown in a community space. If he's been commissioned to create a piece, like, it's not one person at all. And on his Instagram, you'll see that, or you'll see it when he shares in other spaces, and it's not that frequent because he's often working, right? He's often creating. But I know his auntie as well, and she said, yeah, like a lot of people, he's such a good friend. He's such a good friend to other people because he values that so much. And so his, from the outside, you might be like, well, he looks like somebody who's got to be on his own to do the work. But, he's like, no matter what it looks like, you still need that one or two people connection, 3 or 4 people connection, that routine of seeing the same people that you see in your neighborhood, is so supportive to his work, so it feels crazy, but it ain't.
And there's something that you told me that I carry with me to this day. You said something recently. I remember I was telling you that that I never finished my work, and you told me that you didn't see that a person that doesn't finish their work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, because a lot of times you think of yourself one way. Because I was like, oh, I'm always jumping from subject to subject, and I never finish anything, and I need to finish something. And you said, Janine, I don't see that about you. I see that, you go out. What were the exact words that you said to me?
I think I remember this conversation, and we were talking about it, like, because you had some experiences in different times where someone was like, yeah, how come you didn't, people are looking at whatever you're doing, like, how come you're not done with the thing? It's taking a long time, or, whatever the comments are
Mm-hmm.
from wherever they come from, because they come from all over, even in our own minds sometimes. And I was telling you that it's like you're a person who values process. You're a person who's looking at the connections between work. You're a person that you feel like, oh, it needs to get finished. But what you did just before that is the thing that taught you what you needed to know to do the thing you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I have to finish a thing. It's more about I need to be in this space so that I can understand what I need to do next. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're an artist that values process. You're an artist that's looking for the through line, right? What's the
Mm-hmm.
connection between these things? And I don't see someone who, like you said, like you said, it's not someone who, oh, you didn't finish that thing. It's like you did that thing to completion, to the level that you wanted to do it. You
Mm-hmm.
made that decision. I'm going to do it to this point. I'm going to do it till I get to that festival. I'm going to do it until I finish learning how to edit. I'm going to do it until, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you had a bigger plan for it at one point in time. You're like, okay, I'm on the 5-year program, whatever. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm writing a thing, or I'm working on my novel, or whatever. I think a lot of times artists put pressure on themselves to have that definitive, like, I've got to get this out. No, it's true. Like, say somebody gets a contract and they need to output by a
Right.
certain point, or they have a gallery showing, yes, please put your stuff in the
Get your
gallery.
get
Like, there's
your
going to be
point.
a point
Yeah.
where that
You
makes
have
a
to.
lot of sense.
Right.
But if you talk to those artists or those writers or those creators, they might even feel, I'm not done, but I
Mm-hmm.
need to put it here.
Right.
Right? It's not done, but it needs to be out there. That's
Right.
a lot. I hear that conversation a lot. Um, Sometimes you hear people say, oh, yeah, I'm done. It's over, but I'm not going to go down that path anymore. I'm doing this other thing now. I finished it, but I'm going this way now.
Mm-hmm.
To put 3 months of time into that last step is too much, because I could put those 3 months into this, and this is where I want to go now. So those are decisions.
Right.
Those are things that light the pathway of an artist, right? And so I just feel strongly that that's not you. When you want to do something, Janine, there is nothing on this earth that will hold you from it.
But you know who I get that from.
Everybody gets it. You get
No,
it
I
from
get that from you, Ruhi.
Oh, okay.
Ruhi.
No, I think you were born that way. I think you were
No,
born.
but
I
a
think
lot
you
of
were
it
born that way.
is when you went to China.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. When you went to China, it's like, this girl moved to China. Because you kept saying, and I was like, because you kept saying, I'm gonna move to China. I was like, yeah, I believe that when I see it.
Yeah.
But and then she actually went to China. And how
That's
long
right.
did you live in China?
12 years.
12 years. This chick moved to China for 12 years.
That's right. That's right.
A long time. So when I saw that, I was like, shoot, if she could move to China, I could do XYZ.
Yeah, and that's a
By
good point.
yourself. You moved to China by yourself.
I did.
A whole nother country.
I did have some input. There was someone who wanted to go there, and her mother was a close friend of my mother, and her mom felt like she was too young to move abroad, like in her early 20s. And so she said, you can go, but you need to go with someone. So this young lady went out there and asked every someone she could find, even someone she didn't know, including me. Do you want to go to China? Do you want to go to China? Do you want to go to China? You want to go to China? I was like, I had it on my mind to live abroad, but I was doing other things. I was working in film. And so I thought, I'll see about it. But because of her spark, right? We can all help each other in this way. Because of that spark and enthusiasm, I was like, yeah, I'll go. And she was like, what? And I said, yep, count me in. No questions asked. And so she was going to live there forever. That was her plan. And she left after 6 months. So in a way, her plan took her back to go get a master's, right? And then she helped me see the possibilities, and I stayed, right? So it was just kind of like we do that for each other as human beings. Like we can be each other's little spark, or ask a question, or create an opportunity, or open a door, whether it's a conversation or an idea. Sometimes you ask me things and I'm like, tell me more, right? What does this mean? How does that work? What is this? And you're like, woo, you asking me questions has made me think through this a little bit, right? It's okay, right. Okay, I should write that down, or I should get, yeah, that's right. Or when I talk with you about something, like right now, you're asking me a ton of questions. I don't think I've ever said these sentences in my life, right? Because I'm formulating my answer while we're chatting here on this live, So I'm adding to and creating it with you, right? So it's kind of like that kind of energy. And that's beautiful. Thank you for saying that, because I think we know we do that for each other, but it's nice to be able to put it into words,
Yeah, I talk about you quite frequently when I'm talking to my family. It's like, Ruhi, I said, yeah, Ruhi did this, Ruhi did that. And I was like, well, heck, I got to do something. Because you make me want to do stuff, because a lot of times you kind of feel stuck. Yeah, I feel like I feel stuck a lot of times, but then I hear you doing something that's like, oh, well, shoot, let me get myself together.
It's the same for all of us. I think that's why I ended up deciding to go the route of therapeutic arts. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna not do film, or I'm not gonna do other things, but I was interested in, okay, at this stage of my life, how do I bring all this learning into a space where it allows other people to, benefit from it? And can I do it in a way that allows anybody who wants to do it? So like I do all my things on a sliding scale, for example, because I want it to be as accessible as possible, right? I typically will offer the first session for free, because I want people to get a sense of, okay, what's it about? How does it feel? What does that look like? And to me, it's highly valuable to be in another space with a human being, wherever they are in the world. And that's why online works at this time, is because we have that. And we have training on that, right? For the last 10 years, people have been online in different ways, more so now than ever for different reasons. And so we're used to it. I have had people say, oh, I would love to do that, but I'm an in-person type of creator, or type of mom, or type of dad, or type of somebody that wants to be in that space. And I would bring my kids, for example. I was like, oh, okay, I see that. Right. So next time I'm in Tulsa, or in Austin, or in, Mesa, or in the Bay Area, or whatever, try to create a little something that connects with those folks that would rather, be in those in-person spaces. So it still touches on the art side of me, right? Because you're creating space. You're looking for ways to open doors that lets people do things that they want to do. So I love that. I think I've done that my whole life. I think that's why facilitation has been a big part of my life. So I enjoy the sense of unity that comes from that, allows people to work through something, or just enjoy an afternoon, right? Bring some color into their space or conversations that take place that they wouldn't have had if they didn't have that. That's always exciting to me as a person who enjoys art and bringing that forward. One thing I've struggled with, I don't know if you've done this, is it took me a long time to be like, I'm an artist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
To
Calling
be able,
yourself that. Mm-hmm.
woo, it was weird. Like, because a lot of times we have these own models in our mind, like an artist is this, right? Fill in the blank. They act this kind of way, they look this kind of way, they're this type of age, they're that, you know, this particular part of the world, whatever, right? Our own structure. And so a long time I even think I said to my husband the other day, and I was like, we've been married over 15 years. I was like, oh, I'm an artist. And he goes, I know. I was like, what is happening? What's going on? You know? And I think that's okay. It does take time. It does take time for some folks, and other people, they are born and they start creating, you know, they find their outlet. I've seen it with people in sewing, in painting, in clay, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, somebody's making videos and they can't stop. Or, you know, that's their method of creation, right? They're using that modality at that particular time. And stuff is just coming through for them. You know, I mean, I used to read Stephen King growing up. A lot of people were like, why are you reading that stuff? And I said, he's a great writer, you know, and they're like, but he writes horror. And I read articles about him, and he doesn't think he writes horror. He just writes what he gets. That's the information and the stories that are coming to him. And he puts it on the page in a way that people are like, wow, I still see the humanity in every story. I still, even though they struggle, even though there might be a figure or a scary moment or a thing that happens, like that seems horrible, but doesn't that mirror life sometimes, right? So what he's bringing on the page, it brings a lot of people to his books, and later they're adapted to films. Like even the movie Stand By Me, people thought nobody's going to want to see a story like that. You know, this coming of age story about finding, you know, something scary happened in the community. And the fact is, things happen that are scary and break people's hearts, you know? And so that's how he could open that portal, right? A little bit for folks to like dive into that. And authors throughout history have done that. They're always trying to open and shine a light on this is what's happening, you know? This is happening to me. That's happening in my world. New authors, new poets. I love reading new authors and new poets. And I'm just like, oh my God, there it is. That through line, that thought, that energy, that point of view that they're bringing, right? It's so powerful and can change people's minds and send them on a totally different direction, you know? So that's how important it is to say, I'm an artist, right? Because then we set up our mind for this process and our heart for this process. Like, I'm out there to create. Now, is what I'm making going to be pleasing or interesting to others? Maybe not, maybe so, right? But I think if we look at every human being as an artist and every human being as a high level of integrity, a high level of, you know, divinity, if you will, or a high level of you have a voice, then we're waiting, right? We're like, I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Right.
How's your day? What happened? You know, I'm so interested in you. I'm so inspired by you, right? I want to hear more. I want to know more, that type of thing. So we learn a lot from artists to like how to engage humanity as well. You know, so that is another channel, another conversation.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But I mean, when
we have a lot of, Ruhi and I have a lot of interesting conversations off camera. And then somehow, you know, I said, well, wait a minute. We got to talk about this on camera. That happens constantly. But let's go ahead and make these collages.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What did you have with you today?
I have
there.
Okay, I got this. I was over at
Oh,
my mom's
wow.
place. They got like a little craft room. So I got this.
Perfect.
And I don't really have, my collage is going to be different. So this is
Oh.
a flower that I color with a butterfly. I'm a glue on there. Then can you see that? That's a bird. Can you
Oh,
see
I
that
love
bird?
it. Yes. I
That
can
was
see it.
that was a gift card. Then I have this.
Oh, those are actual flowers. I love it.
The plastic.
Okay.
And some fake grass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So mine's is gonna be,
I
and I
think you.
wanted mine to be more tactile, where you can like touch it. So that's like you can touch that.
Ladybug.
The AS whatever, but you can actually touch this. So my thing more so than, I just want people, you can walk up and actually feel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got some letters. I got some letters for my name.
Oh, I love it. Those are
Yes,
great.
I'm going all out.
Well,
I don't know. I just I haven't done that in years since
yeah,
I
I
was
love
a
it.
kid.
I've got just a couple of magazines here. A few classics, like some of them don't even have covers, and they have a lot of like archaeological imagery and nature imagery. And I've been thinking a lot about the redwood trees lately.
Oh, okay. Well, you live where there's redwood trees, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of like mountain scenes in
She's
here.
in the bay. She's in the bay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right now in the bay.
See, I got my Oakland t-shirt on. Hella Oakland.
Yeah. I'm gonna get apart and go straight there. It's like these kind of photography. And my plan was just kind of like use these images and try to see if I could come up with something else. But I think you're stepping into mixed media. I like that. You got some mixed media arts.
I just want people to be able to like come up and actually touch.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more like 3D, I guess. So I got these little pieces, and I'm gonna glue it on. Make it pop, stand out a little bit more.
Oh, cool. Those are so cute.
So let's go ahead and get started.
We're gonna get started, but I wanted to see if I could put a little therapeutic arts question out there while we're doing it, and then just see what comes through, because I think it's a good example. Like you've asked me before, like, what does a session even look like? And it looks like different for everybody. But if it's okay, we might ask each other a few questions while we're doing it, and if we want to put a theme to it, just to kind of like see what comes through. That's also fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to create without those things, but it's also like what happens if, right? I don't know. I've been thinking for myself like a lot about this energy or these ideas around renewal, because I'm stepping into sort of this like new space or figuring out a few things. You've moved to a new place. There's a lot of new, right? And so I think maybe that would be interesting to just sort of think while we're creating, what feeling are we identifying with right now around renewal? And it can come out or it cannot come out, and that's totally fine. But it's just trying to see if there's something there. And I got these cute little kid scissors.
Okay, so the question is, what feeling do I have when it comes to renewal?
Yeah, so I would say maybe even simpler than that. We could do, let's see, what feeling do you identify with right now?
What feeling do I identify with right now?
And it's sort of while you're making things, and it may influence what you're making or it may not.
Well, I came up with it's kind of like a garden theme, because I'm gardening. Oh wow! Well,
wait, what's happening?
You just my mind just went.
Oh.
Well, I'm saying, oh wow, you made me think. Because gardening is growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gardening, trying to grow something new, and I'm experiencing something new. I didn't even think about that.
Hmm.
This
What
is
do you,
this is like a new phase in my life,
right,
you know? Leaving leaving Austin, and I've been in Austin for so long.
right.
Leaving Austin and moving to a new area. So it's all something something new and different. And oh, that's cute. Look, Ruby.
Let me
If
see.
I can get it to stay on, I might have to get some different type of glue. Look.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Uh, so just newness and growth in different type in a different environment, which is to me, which I guess corresponds with gardening, with me doing a garden now, trying to grow something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you think? You asking me questions?
Well, I ended up with an image of like a mountain, but I cut it in a kind of way that I think I'm gonna layer it with some
Mm-hmm.
other things. And I'm like, I don't know. I was just talking about trees. Why did I pick a mountain? That's funny. So I thought to myself, I think my feeling is that I'm identifying with right now is more about like exploring a bit, allowing
Mm-hmm.
myself to, okay, I'm thinking about one thing, but I'm going to explore another, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, oh, I want to spend time more outside, in building that connection with the natural world. But then I'm also like, oh, how's about what does it look like to climb a mountain? You know, a lot of times I think most of us will be like, climbing a mountain, that feels a lot like a challenge or difficulty. But when you imagine if you're outside hiking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or you're outside taking a walk, or you're outside seeing this for the first time, and like you're on a drive and you come to this viewpoint or a vista, the feeling about a mountain is very different. And in most cultures in the world, mountains are actually sacred, right? So if we look at where folks are in the world or how they see their environment, they don't see the mountain as, oh, look at my playscape, or look at my where I'm visiting, take a photo and drive away kind of thing. They recognize that as a family member, a
You're
a
talking about like the Hawaiian culture, correct?
oh, just any mountain in the world.
Hmm.
Any mountain in the world. I mean, even the mountain that has the faces of our presidents carved onto the side, Mount Rushmore. That's
Well, that was
actually a
Native
mountain,
American.
is a Native American site, and it
Right.
was called the Grandfathers.
Right.
And so it's like when we look around at structures like that, we have to remember that they have an ancient history, that they have an ancestral purpose. And so this is coming to mind right now. I've been thinking a lot about my ancestors lately, right?
Hmm.
Where I came from, how I got here, you know, what's happening next. And I spent a lot of time reflecting on my grandparents on both sides of my family,
Mm-hmm.
and what I remember of them and how I connected with them. And so I think that's kind of where my headspace is going. When I think about a feeling or identifying a feeling, it's more about gratitude. Definitely gratitude. And I'm going to try to use, I have this little notebook here. It's kind of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to use 2 pages, I think. Maybe spread it across so that when I open it, it's like, ta-da! I'm going to see what happens there. And I got this glue stick. What kind of glue are you using?
Just this.
Okay, that's
regular.
Yeah,
and I messed up with that grass. See, look at that.
Let me see.
I messed up with the grass, so I'm gonna have to cover that up because the grass really smells. I didn't like that grass at all.
Oh yeah, you can change it up, sure. And that's the cool thing about creating is you're like, I'm done. I'm gonna move on. Moving on to something else.
That did not work. That grass did not work. It looks kind of sloppy now. Great. Oh well. I'm gonna end up doing another one of these. I'm gonna do a different one.
So in therapeutic arts, the other thing that happens is you begin to notice like what you prefer. So just now you're kind of like, oh, I know what materials I want to use or I want to move to. And it's totally fine to do that, right? Even when you're in a session, you can always like switch it up. You know, oh, I'm doing watercolor right now, but I'd rather use colored pencils. Okay, go for it. You know, and I think that in some of the exercises, like some of them are to stimulate ideas, and some of them are to get ideas out. And some of them bring things that are kind of surprising. Like I had a session with someone once, and they wanted to use watercolor, and I posed a question. They were thinking about that, and then they ended up in a totally different route. They were like, this is kind of amazing. Like I've been having a really rough day, and then all of a sudden I thought I was gonna watercolor a certain thing, and I went in a completely different direction, and it taught me that I have the ability to change in a moment. I have the ability to connect with myself in that moment, and I can make a decision that lets me appreciate where I am right now in my process. And she was talking about all the things that had happened, but she was also talking about how right now I can be in this present moment. And these are things that we know intellectually, right? But when you feel it, like you said, that tactile, that, you know, you have that sense of connection. She just was overcome with joy. You know, it just transformed. She transformed her own self, and she was able to create something in the short time that we had that she felt really pleased with. And it was a very simple watercolor, but she was like, I know this isn't done and I'm not trying to be done, but like, this is so beautiful because I made this while I was feeling this change in myself. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a powerful reflection. To be able, she felt like she can't articulate things well, that she's not able to express her ideas, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, she was. You know,
I'm gonna get some scissors and cut this glue off. I don't like that. Ooh, that grass was horrible. I'll be back.
Okay, you can switch it up. You can definitely switch it up. I'm wondering if the next thing we should talk about, though, is, oh, look at this. Oh, I wonder if I could use that.
Let me see that. Let me see that.
I must have drawn this. I must have just put these colors down like
I like that
months ago. So I'm going to take a piece of it. I'm going to use a couple of the green sections. I like that.
Let me go get my scissors.
I'm going to just take a piece of this and use it on here somewhere. I've got the the mountain. I wonder if I can get this in the background. That would be interesting. Photography and markers. You know, I'm working with 2 pages, so I was like, oh, maybe I need to put something right here that connects the mountain with a different background. Because I was talking about how those things are, it's okay to change. It's okay to see yourself in a different environment. So how did it feel right now when you were having to make that change, the adjustment?
I was cool with it.
There you go.
I mean, it didn't like work out the way I planned it, but things don't always work out the way you planned, because that was a mess.
Yeah.
That did not work out because I had how I wanted to look in my mind and how it was turning out to look at things. That grass really smelled. It had a weird smell to it.
So you
It's
did
like,
the right.
some fake crafting grass, and it just didn't smell right. I didn't like it at all.
I think that's one of your superpowers is you're able to pivot. And all the work I've known that you've done, if you need to pivot, you're like, we're moving on. Let's do this. We're changing it up.
So let me find something. Oh, I got some more. I'm gonna cut some more of this stuff out and put it up here.
Oh, cool. I found a word. I wasn't trying to find a word, but look at this. Recharge.
I like that.
I'm gonna stick that in here. I wasn't planning on using words, but one popped up.
So you're saying I'll do more like mixed. This is more like mixed media. Okay.
I've been learning about it. I've noticed that when people start to step into, these are just, loose definitions. If you're using things that are from different sources that have different sensory feelings, if you're starting to use things like tactile things, cloth, textures, yarn, you're using markers alongside, cutouts. It starts to step into mixed media. And a lot of people who do mixed media, they mix whatever they have. So they might have just drawers and drawers full of stuff that they've just been holding on to, so that when they want to create, they have all kinds of different things. And some people find it very therapeutic to just spend like half an hour coming up with something, and they make a little mixed media journal. And so they take a page and then they put a few things together. Some people do it in professional spaces also, where they love that modality. And they just keep working with it. And they love the feeling of, like, say for example, I just cut this little piece out. It's not got anything on it, but I'm like, oh, that's an interesting shape. They might insert it into their piece in a different way, right?
Right.
Or anything that what you and I might call scraps, all of a sudden, oh, this is what I'm using to create. Depends. Everybody's got their favorites, which is really cool. The other thing that happens in therapeutic art sessions is sometimes there's a lot of quiet, and someone's working through something or creating. And so my task as a therapeutic arts facilitator, or if somebody's an art therapy practitioner, that we stay quiet, right? So we're not sitting here constantly drawing stuff out from someone. They get that time to create, and then they come through with their thoughts closer to later in the session.
Okay.
And it gives them a window of opportunity to just sit with their own. There's a little bit of this, Jenny, which I absolutely love as someone who does this work. They'll be like, okay. Like they're seeing something in their own work and their own mind that allows them to like think something through, and it's like light goes on. And I had one gentleman, he was just like this the whole time. He's like, kind of like how you're doing. He's like, and he was like leaning forward, and then he was like, oh boy, he was having his thing. And I was like, okay, I'm letting him do his thing. And afterward, oh my gosh, he just had so much to share, and it's so insightful, and it led him to see things in different ways. These are his words. And he showed me what he made, and I'm not joking. In my eyes, it was beautiful. And it was probably, I want to say, less than 10 lines.
Okay.
It wasn't like, let me use the whole page. let me get over here and squiggle this way and that way. Let me grab every type of tool and get it on the page. It was what he needed to create in that moment that would remind him of that thought process, you know? And I think as a therapeutics art facilitator, that's the beauty of the work, is that sometimes it's not the art itself, it's the process you're going through to get it on the page, allowing him to think through a thing. And I even reached out to him later and he's like, I'm still vibing off that session. I'm good. Like, I can't tell you how interesting it was and how he resonated with it. But at the same time, he found other sources in his life that give him that same energy and feeling. And I think that was to me, that session was a gift to me, but also to him, in a way that let him see, like, okay, I have tools at my disposal. I'm not on my own. You know, I have things I can do. And I love that. I absolutely love it. Now, I found a picture of what looks like wires and all kind of stuff happening from somebody setting up their recording board or musician's board. So this is going on here, but I'm going to try to layer it up a little bit. There we go. Oh, this is fascinating.
Let me see.
The words. So this is the image, but then the words on the back say, despite her success, it was her entrepreneurial spirit that helped her specialize in her arts and the influence of her great-grandmother, who had suffered on ancestral lands at a time when there was a double threat and violent assaults. These emblems of nostalgia and the operations of her own mind helped her get through. There you go. That is a random piece of paper that had some message on it. So I was talking about, I'm interested in ancestry. And, most of us are interested in looking at, like, our most recent ancestors that we may have known. And I find that fascinating that those words popped up. But, when you're creating, that's how it works. It's synchronicity. Yeah, it's not as mysterious as it seems, right? You're like, well, of course, you're making a documentary about your dad, and stuff is going to pop up. And that's because that's where the thoughts are, right?
Yeah, I think I need some Gorilla Glue to get this to stay down.
Oh yeah, it looks like it might have some weight to it.
It does.
Okay.
It does. I might actually tape. That is not working. This glue is not working. We'll come back to this. Come back to that. So this is what I have so far. Ooh, hold on. Let me glue some more stuff on this.
Let's see.
Hold on. There, maybe. Stay on. Look, Ruhi.
Let me see. Oh my gosh, it's coming together. Yep. I love it.
I like
the fact that you repurposed things that you had already made, or like you took that from that card. Those are great tools. This is what's happening over here so far.
Okay, recharge. I like that. Oh, that's a bird. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
digging that.
For some reason, it ended up over here. So I'm going to see about what happens up in this
Up
space.
there. I like that.
There's a cool technique that now we're talking more on the art making side of things. What some artists do who are collage folks, they will take an image and then put a contrasting image right on top of it. So if I'm getting and you know, in art we call that juxtaposition.
Right.
But you know that. So if I was going to take this, the image I would put on top of it would be a scene from a completely different place. And so I've seen
it could be a different element. It could be fire. Because you got water, you can put fire on this opposite.
Yeah. Some people ask or they say things like, I'm not an artist. I don't feel like I can make things, or I don't know what you all are thinking, because like, oh my gosh, that is a bunch of gobbledygook.
That's conditioning from I'm not knocking anybody, but from the educational system, because they don't encourage people. They don't encourage free thinking, and they don't encourage creativity. So
yeah, and it's really up to the individual teachers. As someone who's done substitute teaching off and on I would say I've done it in 4 different states now, off and on, in different seasons of my life, where we're only staying a short time somewhere. And I've also done it in different countries. I find it when I step into a space as somebody who's not, doesn't have any connection with the students, hasn't learned much about them yet, that art is the way to build that connection. So even just a quick art moment at the top of the class, giving each person a chance to express themselves in a fun way always helps bring people together. Or an art moment at the end of a lesson, it allows them to consolidate their thoughts around what it is that they created or what they're thinking about. And I came across a teacher who I subbed for once, and she was the art teacher, but in their school, they taught different subjects in each class. So in math, you would also learn about science. In art, you would also learn about history. In history, you would also learn about physical education. And they combined all their subjects, which I thought was fascinating. Which to them made a lot of sense, because nothing is in isolation, right?
Right.
So I thought that was a beautiful way to express it. And then there was a teacher who was utilizing art in his social studies class, and the lesson was on the Black Panthers and the programs that they had started and continued to run, food programs, educational programs, preschools. And he used comic strips to allow the kids to sort of draw their understanding of certain seasons of the creation of these programs. And he had in his bookshelf comic strips or graphic novels that were already made as inspiration, and they could choose like a different section. And then all throughout the room, they had the walls covered with those stories.
That must have been in California. I know that wasn't in Texas.
I tell you what, it was in Oklahoma.
Oh. Well, I knew it wasn't in Texas. I tell you that.
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you are to where you can find these creative teachers who span out. And I had plenty of people tell me, like, I'm going to teach what the kids need to know about who we are and where we're headed.
Yeah, because they're trying to stop all of it.
Recharge.
Oh, wow. I like that.
I'm going to try to find something maybe around here. Did you think that you might need a different type of glue, you were saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait to put them flowers on there, and then I'm going to paint this. I guess I'm gonna have to use some acrylic paint or something to paint this, and I'm gonna put those flowers up there, and then put some more little birds throughout this.
So yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so it's not finished. It's not by no means finished. I'm at the stopping point for now. So I'm gonna go So probably later on this evening, I'm going to go to Michael's up the street and get some, get different because this Gorilla Glue that Tyrant has is dried out. So I'm going to get some Gorilla Glue and some paint and do these words and get a couple of birds that like this.
Why did you put the flowers and the ladybug together?
Because I put some ladybugs in my flowers in my pot outside to help keep the pests off of it. That's why.
I love it.
I got a video on my YouTube of when I put ladybugs in my plants to keep the pest off of it from the pests eating them.
That's a great way to do it. That's like a natural sort of organic type of gardening you're doing.
They all died. I only had one ladybug left because they died when it rained. The rain drowned.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. It happens like that sometimes, though, where I remember somebody was trying to do composting, who was a friend of mine, and she was trying to compost with earthworms. Mm-hmm. And so they send you the earthworms in the mail. I was like, what? Earthworms in the mail? That was new to me. And then she had a pot that she was composting in, and she had to leave, a family emergency. She wasn't able to take care of it. And she was like, oh no, all those worms are going to be wasted, poor things. And she said, well, at least I'm composting and so on. Anyway, she came back after a month and there was worms. I mean, she was ready. She had all that stuff had like melted down and the worms loved it. And so she was able to take that out, put in her new little bed there with her kids. And they got to see her do that, which was really great. And I thought, that is amazing. Like certain things, they're not going to make it in that particular environment. Mm-hmm. But other things, if you leave them be, they cook up.
Yeah, if I had to have my plants on the patio where I have them now, mm-hmm. out of the weather, they would have made it. Mm-hmm. But I had them out in the yard and it rained and it flooded and my poor butterflies, ladybugs died, and I only had one left. And I think the thing recognized me because it flew on me.
Oh my gosh! I bet you they did.
I think it recognized me, and then it flew away. It's like, well, I'm out. I have no other. But they say you should get plants that attract ladybugs instead of buying them commercially.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So I got to find some plants that ladybugs are attracted to and plant them, and some plants that butterflies are attracted to. Mm-hmm. Put those out. It's a learning process. Gardening is a learning process. Try to figure out what works and what doesn't. Let me see what you got there, Ruhi.
I'm still looking for an image. Actually, it might start looking like this. Let's see. Upside down.
Okay.
Sideways. But I like the idea of being able to close it, mm-hmm. And then come back to it. Somehow that's like, oh, hi, there you are. But I think I need maybe another small image right here. I'm still thinking through like I'm asking myself, now that this is in this stage, what is my feeling right now? Right? What am I going through right now? So I think that I'm sensing that I'm actually really good with it where it is. But if it needs more, then I can come back to it. And that feels a lot like generosity to me. Like I'm being kind to myself, So I think that's unusual. Sometimes we're not kind to ourselves, right? We'll just be like, whatever's going through our mind at the time. But if anything, therapeutic arts have taught me is that once you have to put down something, and come back to it later, it kind of gives you that energy to be like, all right, let me rethink this. Let me use my creativity in a different way. Mm-hmm. Well, how are you feeling right now?
Oh, I'm good. I want to finish it, but it's too hot to go out.
What happens
later?
What happens if you don't finish it? Where would you be with that?
Nothing. I just I just want to finish it so I can show my sister, because I get ideas, because I'm gonna hopefully my uncle won't be watching this. I'm gonna make one for my uncle for his birthday present in October. So
Oh,
this
cool.
is just a test. This is my test.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do one for him. He likes fishing.
That'll be
So
so
I'm gonna do a
cool.
lot of stuff with fishing equipment, like little miniature fishing things, and
Yes.
you know, and just put everything thing that he likes. Hold on, I'm gonna show you something.
I would love to see. Oh, wait a minute. Something else in here. No,
I
not
found
in
my
this
bird.
notebook.
Wait a minute.
You found a bird.
Got some birds. I thought I had to go to the store and get some. Look.
Oh, cool.
But my uncle likes fishing, so look.
Oh, yeah. No, he'll love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this out and put them on some paper like this, cut some fish out, and then get like some little fake fish, some little fish hooks, not the real,
Yeah.
so you want some little fish hooks and put his
Yeah.
name on there. So that's gonna be his birthday present. He doesn't know it, but that's
Oh, I
gonna
love it.
yeah.
You know,
That for him.
that's the one thing I love growing up, is that I think we used to make things by hand more. You know, we used to, in my memory, we would always do homemade gifts for people, whether it was like a batch of cookies or, like you're making cards, or a song, or I guess, yeah, it was common. Even my grandparents, almost everything was homemade, I think that's where I got a lot of my influence. When I want to do something, I'm like, what do I got around me? What is right here? And then I found these. I'm also always for a bargain. These were 69 cents, 59 cents, and 29 cents. I found these and I was like, okay, I'm going to get me a set of markers and stuff. And I found these watercolors. These were a whole $2.19. So that was my big purchase. Yes. But I do love an art store. Don't get me wrong. I will go into an art store and be like, wow, look at all these tools. I love it.
Yes, yes, I can't wait to do that for him.
No, I think it's gonna be beautiful. And a lot of times it's so special nowadays for people to get like something, where it's like, oh my gosh, you made this for me? It's a really big deal.
I should have told my sister, because she wants me to make her one. She said, what are you going to make? You going to do one for me and Mom? I was like, wait a minute. I'm just telling you something. I said, well, what's mine going to be? You're going to make what?
And that was the day that Janine started a business and card making, because people were like, where's my card?
I mean, it's not really a card per se, because that's pretty big for a card.
Oh, it's going to be, like this big?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's going to be like this.
That's different. I love it.
Using these I'm cutting this out. These are some of the fish that I'm going to stick on it. Cutting these out. And I'm
Inspired.
And that came from you, because you said collage. I would never even thought about that unless you said it. But I didn't know I was doing mixed media. But I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all, it's hard to separate the art forms, because they're all like influencing each other. Like even if you started to use some painting on there, anything you decide to do.
Oh, there's gonna be some paint on the letters. I'm gonna paint these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave them blank. My whole thing is I want people to, like you say, I want people to really be able to get up there and touch it. Hopefully don't knock it off, but touch it and feel different textures. That's my thing. I'm gonna make a lot more cleaner. This is just a test.
I love it.
Get some better glue, and this is my test one.
That's perfect. You know what you were saying just now, and I don't know if I know I'm not supposed to ask questions, but it makes me feel like what you were talking about just now, making someone feel something or touch something or connect with it. it's like you're talking about your documentary.
Okay, I wouldn't think about it that way, but okay. Is that how you want to? If that's how you want to put it, okay then.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking there's a connection there because that's been a lot of your focus today. Is like, what happens if I put this here? What happens if I use this glue? What happens if I go here? What happens if I touch on this point? What happens if I understand that I'm growing? What happens if I realize that I'm connecting with something? What happens if I want to make someone feel something or offer them that invitation, right? We can't truly insist on someone feeling a thing, but we can offer that invitation and be like, step into this with me, kind of an energy. So there's a little bit of parallels there. The things that you're, because you found the parallel between your garden. Remember that moment you're like, wow, 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 earlier in the program? Wow, wow. And I was like, what's happening? Like, wow, wow. You're using up the whole screen. And you're like, oh, I'm growing. I'm gardening. I'm making something new. I was like, oh, okay. That's therapeutic arts. That's when you're asking yourself these questions and allowing your brain to just reach into your heart, right? And those connections pop out. It's like letting you, that's your physical expression of that moment, right? Because that's probably from your dance background.
Oh my goodness.
The energy around
together.
I'm just telling you, not everybody has that movement.
You're a very deep thinker. I'm kind of like very on the surface here. I'm gliding on the surface, and you making me go, bonk. Let me go deep. Let me think. No, I don't want to think. I want to be deep. Bonk. Straight back up. No, you gotta think. You gotta be deeper. Oh, okay. Let me swim back down.
It's just like all of those organisms in the ocean. Some are on the surface living through that ecosystem. Some are living in the mid waters. Some are in the deeps and they don't even get a chance to come up, right? So they got to connect in different ways. But I think, yeah, you're onto something here with this whole making it tactile, right? Because that'll influence your editing. That'll influence how you move forward with it too, in your interviewing and stuff. So it's powerful to think about it in a way that lets you find that energy you want someone to step in with you, right?
Okay,
you're an artist.
Okay, well, we gotta stop talking about me. Again, we gotta come back to you.
Oh.
So then, stop all that.
You're like, okay, stop that.
Let's get back into Ruhi's world. Let's get into Ruhi's world. Okay, so you're doing the therapeutic art. And what else is going on in Ruhi's life?
Most of it is caregiving right now. There's a little bit of that happening for our elder parents and making sure that they're well and happy and connected. And that's been going on for a few years, actually. And then I think coming up, I'm probably going to get a little bit more. I was telling Janine that I was going to get back into a little bit more filmmaking side.
I can't wait for that.
Help myself into that arena and be like, come on now, let's go. This is my walker. Do, 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 do. Because I've been doing other things for a while. And I think in order to be a filmmaker, you got to make things. It doesn't have to be all the time. It doesn't have to be every day. But I think that's where I'm going to step back into is just getting in the habit. I love doing camera. I love the aspect of shooting. It's really interesting to me to make compositions, things that allow other things to take place in the frame. So a lot of my shots are very still in the beginning and then they start to move around a bit. So I'm just getting back into that. And one way I'm doing that is I'm working with my sister to bring up a youth program in Austin. And it is essentially similar to what we did with Real Women, where we had the production film group. we're actually doing one for 15-year-old to 18-year-olds because there's a space there, a gap. There's a lot of great services for little ones who are interested in filmmaking, video making, storytelling. There's a nice set of programs for folks that are stepping into older ages, kind of up to about 13, 14. And then there's amazing internships and programs, even with Austin Film Society and other groups that allow folks to get into, from 18 and older. But there's sort of a little gap in the middle there. And so we're just going to be doing a weekly space where folks can come and do, it's kind of like working in a studio where you set up your project and you get something done, or you meet other kids who are kind of interested in the same thing you are, like we did with Real Women, right? Put people in a room, come up with an idea together and create it. And so it'll just be a short 5-week session, and then a break, and then another 5-week session. So I think I'm kind of inspired by that. So that's why I want to step back into film, is like watching these young creatives kind of come up with things. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. I do love that. I do want to be in that world. And I had a meeting with a friend of mine, old friend of mine. And she was like, remember this movie you told me about that you wrote? And that was like 1996, and this other one and that other one. And she's like, I'm waiting for those movies. And I went, oh my God, that's right. And so I think that I'll step into revisiting some scripts that I had, drafted, and kind of like see where they go. And but I think once I get a hold of something, I'm going to stick with short forms. I want to do either interested in verticals right now, essentially storytelling through the vertical space.
Right.
There's a lot of that going on. And you can do short formats. There's episodics that are 15 minutes. You don't have to do a 22-minute or 1-hour format anymore. You can do these short little episodes. A lot of that is for mobile devices. Of course, you can watch it anywhere, watch it on YouTube or anything. And then if they get picked up, they live a different life, right? Whether it's on Netflix or in another streaming outlet, people can watch it in that format too. So I'm thinking, I love micro worlds. Like that is kind of like where I spend a lot of my time, where some people, I'm either in the macro, like I'm out in the universe and the quasars and hanging out at the edge of the universe, or I'm down here and I like little things. I like small artwork. I like tiny boxes. I like miniature films. I love short films. Like, I think I'm going to go more that route into verticals and try to be intentional about it, with how the work goes out. And with that little structure, then pick one of the stories that I was writing and go ahead and cast that and make it, and then see, because I have no idea. It's a whole, like you said, it's a whole area of learning. It's like, this has never happened before. And then the other thing I'm excited about coming up is being a part of, working with you to put up some distribution channels for your documentary.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm excited too. Once I finish this thing. I just got it, girl.
I know you didn't want me to bring it back to you, but that is something I'm working on. You asked me, what am I working on?
It, but I gotta get my behind in Houston to finish this dang thing. I gotta call some people, this weekend. And when can I come up there and shoot with you?
Yeah, I understand.
Everybody's like, oh, I'm excited. Damn it, I'll be excited too once I finish all these interviews.
Janine, we need to take a picture of that face.
And dealing with people with their uncooperative people.
It's a process. It always is. Human beings are like that. We sometimes got to go our own way.
You don't know my family, okay? They're cray. Some of them are cray. And I say all of them, but some of them are cray.
Everybody's got a section of the family like that.
I'm up here begging. Can you please, like Oliver Twist, Mom, can you please help me? Can you help me? Send me some footage, please, Mom. No, Mom, please, Mom. I'll turn it Oliver Twist.
You know, it'd be kind of interesting. Oliver Twist.
I'm serious.
It's just hitting my brain right now.
I'm gonna get down like Oliver Twist.
No, my niece does that all the time, and now I know what you're talking.
You'll be doing it. Mom, can you please send me some footage? I know you have it, Mom, please. I don't have time for that. I'm busy right now. But Mom, please send me some footage, Mom. I really
This is your acting background right here. This is your acting background.
Mom, please. Mom. I don't got time for that. I'll get to it when I get it. Mom, please.
Listen. I think I would love to see some raw footage. I've seen some of the clips. Obviously, I've seen the clips you put up on YouTube, which I love. I would love to see some raw footage. And I bet you anything, if you sent a little raw footage sample to anybody you're trying to interview, like, we need you right after this. See this moment right here? What you have to say will uplift this whole conversation, and let them see it for themselves. And if they still say no, then we have to, you got to accept it. People will say no. That's the hard part about documentaries, is you get the no. And then sometimes you shoot stuff, and this is the logistical side. If you don't have someone sign off on a piece of paper that says you are allowed to use my image and my interview in your movie, you will export a video to show someone, and they'll be like, I never gave you permission. It's like, well, you're right in there, and that's your permission. Nope, but legally, nope, can't show their image.
Well, see, I record them saying that I could use their.
That's actually good. That works too.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's
You're
perfect.
Not gonna come back on me. They ain't no.
That's the behind the scenes of making stuff, is like, you always got to make sure, like when we work with youth and kids, we always got to get parent permission. We always got to get them to sign off. Like, it's okay if their picture shows up somewhere or in a video or anything. And for all those filmmakers out there, this is true. That's one of the big old processes that happens, is just making sure everybody's on board and you got permission. But my suggestion is just make that little clip and send it to them and say, you know what you have to share would just uplift this right here, and it would bring another layer. And I would really love to do your interview with you. And
I have the interview. I don't have the cutaway shots.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants to sit there and watch a talking head.
Oh no. That's us right now. The look on your face. That was awesome. I can't believe he said that. Was so awesome.
Oh my God. Well, you see, we got 0 viewers, but somebody will watch that in post. I'll send it out to people because we got 0 viewers right now.
Nobody wants to watch Talking Heads. Oh, geez,
proving the point,
awesome.
We're at 0, but
it's just the time of day. It's morning.
It's the time of
everybody's at work.
Look, that's what I tell myself. So I'm gonna send it out to different family. I have a friend. He's a poet. I know he would love this stuff.
It's so sweet.
He talks about poetry and stuff. And he's in writing. He's into all that. So I'm gonna send it to my old writing group. They'll watch it. But anyway, what I'm trying to get are some cutaway shots, and this person is not. It's not helping me, and it's upsetting. But I will try what you said. I will try that. But after I finish, I'll do that after I finish the interviews. I'm gonna check on that. But yeah, I look forward to you working with me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And we actually might have a chance to meet up at some point, because I think we're going to be in the Texas area sometime in the fall. So, and I know you, our paths just almost crossed, because I'm in California and then you're sometimes in California. So that also happens, but we'll find each other at some point.
We always do. But so we're going to go ahead and end. We've been on here for a long time.
No.
This is the longest interview that I've done, but that's cool.
Okay, it feels amazing. I am so grateful. Thank you so much.
Show us again what you did, Ruhi.
Okay, well, some of my stuff just fell off the thing, but
that looks good.
It's coming together, and I'm definitely going to probably turn the page and keep going.
I like that. You did a good. I like that recharge. And
I'm just going to go back here.
Yeah, that looks good.
The glue is drying and it's falling off, but that's okay.
That's really good. Good job, Ruhi.
Yeah. And if anybody's interested in therapeutic arts, always feel free to connect. I'm more than happy to offer anyone who watches this video a free session.
Tell them how they can connect with you, Ruhi.
I'm at www.ruhizandra.com. So it's RuhiZandra. That is my first name and my middle name. It's a real name. .com. And you can find me in the same on Instagram or Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, what is that?
It's a social media space. It's a different. I was using it as a way to keep track of photos that I liked. So I wasn't necessarily thinking of it as a way to connect. But recently I've noticed that the type of posting and things that are of interest to folks there is a little different. And you also have a little bit more, you can do videos and things like that, but you also have a little bit more space to reach out in different ways. And both of those links are on my website for sure.
So RuhiZandra.com.
Right.
Okay, so I'll post this in the description. So that's going to be it for us.
It was super fun, Jenny.
Hopefully people will come and watch this come back and watch it later. And thank you so much, Ruhi, for joining me. I'm going to end the broadcast, but you stay on for a second.
It was awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny.
Bye.
Bye-bye.